Guys, as lovers of film and movie, we're living in a crazy time. There's just no getting around it. And while I haven't really addressed it that much because this channel is all about spreading positivity as it relates to film, I wanted to take a moment to address at least one aspect of the situation that I think is important for us to talk about, which is why are some movies going straight to digital while others are sticking to their release dates despite being delayed so many times? In other words, why can't Disney just release Black Widow on Disney Plus right now like so many of us want them to do? Well, the answer is simple, yet a lot more complicated than you might think. So let's look at the Black Widow argument. It's one that I've seen a lot of my friends say, and I've thought about it myself. Well, why doesn't Marvel just release Black Widow on Disney Plus so that we, as the fans, can watch the movie, and then they, as Marvel, can just move on with the MCU, releasing Falcon and the Winter Soldier right afterwards? After all, that was the original plan, wasn't it? Like I said, there are two sides on this coin. The simple answer is money. If Disney and Marvel decide to do this, you bet they're going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars, and that's not even an exaggeration. When you look at a movie budget for these huge tentpole movies, you see a number hovering around $200 million, which is what is the case for Black Widow. But that's not the only money that a movie studio has to spend on a film. While, yes, a lot of the budget does go into actually making the film with visual effects and the actors and the directors, there's another huge factor that doesn't get talked about a lot, and that's marketing budget. Guys, marketing a film is not cheap. In fact, it may sometimes, and it all depends on the studio and how they want to present their film, actually double the production budget. So, for the sake of argument, let's be generous and put the amount of money that Black Widow cost to make at around $400 million factoring marketing and production. That's a lot of money. So, yes, putting it on Disney Plus, a streaming service in which an entire family can share one account that costs $10 a month for a subscription, is a terrible idea. Because they're going to lose so much money. But that's not the only argument people are making. So the next argument is this, and this may be a little more logical and rational. Surely the only option isn't putting it on Disney Plus, so why don't you just put it on sale digitally on platforms like Apple TV? Normally the price to buy a movie on Apple TV hovers between $15 and $20, which is already a little more than it costs to buy a ticket for the movie theater. So let's say for argument's sake that in order to watch Black Widow once, and you'd have to pay each time you want to see it again, Marvel decides to put the price at $100 per viewing. $100 for a single view? That's insane. But then again, it is a Marvel movie, says the moviegoer, so surely all the Marvel fans will grit their teeth and pay $100 to see Black Widow. And then Marvel will make a ton of money back, and the problem will be solved, right? Well, in theory, but also no, that's actually wrong. Putting the film out on Disney Plus would, yes, increase subscriptions and increase revenue on that front, but it's still a minuscule amount of money compared to putting it out on demand or in the theaters. But there are other problems with putting it out on demand. Have you considered pirating? How easy would it be to pirate a movie that's on demand at home? You could just pull out your phone and record it, and then it would be up on the internet within 10 minutes. After the film has been released to homes, the studios don't necessarily care as much, although they do care a lot because it's obviously their property, but they've made the majority of their money in theaters, which is why pirating, yes, it becomes a big issue when it's on demand, but it doesn't matter as much versus pirating in the theater. But if the movie is new and a hot commodity, and it's that easy to pirate, then they lose a good chunk of money right there. And then, while yes, that $100 may seem like a lot per person to see the movie, it's not actually per person. Think about it. A family of 4, including snacks and food and a meal, spend close to $100 at the movie theaters anyways these days. Tickets aren't cheap, guys. So let's say you invite a bunch of friends over to see Black Widow and everyone pays $5 to the host to see the movie, and you invite 20 people. Well, problem solved for you, problem created for Disney. They just lost a ton of money right there. And also on top of that, gathering would be bad for other reasons, but we won't get into that right now. That's why these huge tentpole movies like Black Widow, Mulan, No Time to Die, they're not moving from the theatrical release dates. Because let's say in a normal world, Black Widow would have made $800 million. And that might have even been a conservative estimate because some people were thinking that it would make $1 billion before its release date, given that it's a Marvel film. Even with the ongoing crisis outside, if Black Widow releases in theaters in November and only half the people go to see it, well, guess what? Black Widow just made $400 million. And if you remember, that was the estimated budget that we said for this movie. So guess what? Black Widow just broke even with half the people going to see it. Now, that's only part of the question that I wanted to discuss today. The other half is this. So then, why are some movies actually releasing on demand anyways? Why do movies like Scoob and Trolls World Tour go straight on demand? And why do movies like Artemis Fowl go straight to Disney Plus, skipping over the theatrical release date? The answer for these two scenarios are actually slightly different. Because in the case of Trolls World Tour, and maybe even for Scoob, there was a possibility that they could have broken even or made a profit if they had stuck to theaters. But here's the thing. The longer these movies delay, the more the studio has to market the film, and we know that marketing costs money. On top of that, these two movies would have lost relevance very quickly, unlike a Marvel movie like Black Widow. No one really cares too much if Trolls World Tour never came out, unlike Black Widow. And think about this. Kids are at home right now. Kids aren't going to pirate movies, and kids want to watch movies over and over and over again. And parents are going stir crazy not knowing what to do with the younger children. What's the solution? Throw on a new movie. There's the money. These movies were targeted to the younger demographic, and that's why they were able to make a lot of money going straight to digital. Now, what about Artemis Fowl? Well, this case is a lot simpler, actually. There was a very, very little chance that Artemis Fowl was going to break even at the box office, even in a normal world and a normal theatrical release. In fact, assuming that the world was going to be normal, which it's not, there was a good chance that it was going to be one of the biggest bombs of the year. So for Disney, it's a simple equation. They're probably going to make a little more money putting it on Disney Plus than in theaters, even if only marginally, so they do that. Problem solved. So while, yes, it is super disappointing that we don't get to see these films for a while, there's a good reason for it. Guys, movie theaters and movie studios are losing millions and billions of dollars, and when they reopen, hopefully someday soon, they need to make as much money as they possibly can so that we can enjoy the resurgence of movies in the future. Which movie are you most looking forward to seeing after the movie theaters reopen? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to subscribe and hit the like button. It would be great to see some support for the channel so I know whether you guys are enjoying the content or not. Make sure to check out the videos on the screen for some more content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.